Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the 1970s television show Emergency. Thank you so much for all the support as always. If you want to see more emergency videos, check out my playlist. You can simply search on YouTube Rick9G Emergency TV Show and it'll pop right up where you can see where the original fire trucks Squad 51 is right now, as well as a lot more cool information. So make sure to take a look. So let me tell you about the time that the cast and crew of Emergency got kicked out of the city of Long Beach. Now, this is what happened, not only the cast and crew, but Universal Studios as a company itself. And this is because they caused fire damage to a neighboring house while filming from this episode. This is from season 2, it's episode 1, and I'll tell you what exactly happened. Now in this one, a fire traps a young boy in a 2-story house. We see Roy DeSoto, and he comes through the smoke. He finds a little boy hiding under his bed, trying to hide away from the flames, and hands him over to John Gage, of course the other firefighter, before everyone exits the building and they're safe. Now the house that was used for the shoot was located on Ocean Boulevard in Long Beach, California. Now it was going to be demolished, so they were allowed to use it for filming and of course to light it on fire. Now the Long Beach Police Department, they blocked off the streets to allow pedestrians and people not to really interfere with the filming, and so they fitted the windows with some, of course, Hollywood magic. They used propane gas jets so that the flames, these real flames, they actually use real flames, they would shoot outwards, and the special effects crew put, incredible enough, rubber cement. I was really surprised when I found this out. They placed rubber cement, which is of course very flammable, on the walls, and it would create these instant flames. Now they used a tarp as well to keep out the sunlight to make it appear like night inside the bedroom when they were filming inside the house. Now the problem was that the special effects crew didn't account for the heat of the day, and that's because the rubber cement began to vaporize faster than expected, and when the flames ignited, a fireball blew Frank off his ladder. So the director of this episode, Chris Nyby Sr., he wanted a really large fire, so he kept asking the crew from the special effects department for more flames, until someone recalled that the entire house started to quiver from the force of the propane. In fact, steam was starting to build up and the heat dried the wood structure. It was getting hotter and hotter, but inevitably the director still wanted more fire. He wanted the scenes to come out his way. Other people recalled that the flames were roaring 20 feet out of the front of the house. Now, firefighter Mike Stoker recalls sitting in the engine some distance away and he immediately knew that there was trouble when he could see that the lights and the fire were very visible even from far away. The heat of the blaze actually cracked windows and singed the lawn at her neighboring home. So they had to peel the paint off a neighboring house and they ignited the drapes. Instead of holding the hose line, assisting Engine 51 and posing as Johnny and Roy, firefighters Alan Barbie and Ray Rebar went into the neighboring building, stripping burning drapes from the windows and soaking them in the bathtub. It was complete chaos. The shoot was closed down and they got booted out of the city. Around 2 a.m., the Long Beach fire inspector that was on site ordered the cast and crew of Emergency out of the city. And they actually gave them a punitive measure. They were prohibited from shooting inside the city for an entire year. What made this horrible for the Emergency team was that they didn't get all the shots that they needed for this episode. In fact, the episode was only partially made. So they had to do something special. They converted a house on the Universal backlot and made it look exactly like the one in Long Beach. And they were able to shoot the close-ups as best as possible with Johnny and Roy. They used some clever editing and they were able to do the shoot as was planned. The studio itself paid to repair all the damage that was caused, so all in all it wasn't horrible. But yes, the cast and crew of Emergency was kicked out of the city of Long Beach by the fire inspector. I want to know your thoughts on this, guys and gals. Should they have been a little bit more responsible, especially with this rubber cement? And the director calling for more and more fire, even though the experts on set were saying that it was too dangerous and they should tone it down. They should have more safety measures versus making it worse. Of course, it's very common to be able to use fire in movies, TV shows, and for it to be a controlled burn, but this sounded like something that completely went out of control. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much. There will be more emergency videos in the near future, so make sure you stay tuned. And most importantly, guys and gals, be hopeful. Thank you to my Diamond tier patrons, Andrew B, Sydney R, Ricky, and David D. I appreciate everyone who supports me on Patreon. If you want to get exclusive content like knowing what videos are coming out the day before, as well as many other things like podcasts, feel free to subscribe to Patreon. Link is in the description. Thanks so much.